right, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call to order the second session of the host community hearing that we started on June 24 and are continuing here tonight, this afternoon. This is, of course, the statutorily mandated hearing that we conduct, not only because the statute requires it, but because of the value we take in the thoughts and expressions we hear as we move toward the licensing decision later this summer. So I want to welcome all of you here tonight. I want to recognize Mayor Rizzo, who's here tonight. The mayor is not going to speak tonight, but will speak when we have the final session in August. We'll be back for one more session to close this hearing, and we'll hear from the mayor then, and we'll give everyone a chance to speak at that point. But tonight's meeting is, as we talked about last time we were here, an opportunity for those who signed up to speak at the last meeting, but couldn't do so because of time constraints, to talk tonight. And those are the only ones from whom we'll hear tonight. As I said, we'll have another opportunity to hear from everybody who wants to be heard when we come back in August. But tonight we'll just hear from those who signed up, and we'll hear from them in the order in which they signed up. You'll recall that at the last meeting we stopped at 8 o'clock, believing as we did that that was the fairest way to deal with commitment, dinner, hunger, fatigue, and at the same time get the thoughts from all of you. Once again, the time constraints are those that we've used throughout all of these hearings. There's a clock on the stage in front of us that will start when the speaker approaches the podium. I'm going to designate a hot seat in which I'd like the on-deck speaker to sit so we can make a smooth, quick transition to the podium. And perhaps we could use the seat in the front row right next to the podium as the hot seat. So I'm going to call two names, and each time a speaker comes to the podium, I'll call the name of the second person who can come to the hot seat. And finally, before we start, before I call the first name, I've been asked to remind everybody that there are 3 exits in the unlikely event of an emergency, 2 on either side of the stage, and then 1 in the rear of the building. So with those preliminaries, let me begin by calling Vincent F. Camerata to the podium, and I would call Kerry Abrams to the on-deck chair. Mr. Camerata.
Good afternoon, members of the commission.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Testing, I think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
First of all, let me thank you, gentlemen and the ladies on the commission, to send me back my letters. I really appreciate it. Members of the commission, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts and my opinions. My name is Vincent F. Camerata, a retired City of Revere employee, sanitary code enforcement inspector, Revere Board of Health for 18 years, and a retired Suffolk Downs employee security officer for 10 years, and a proud to say City of Revere resident for over 80 years. The hearings we had explained all of the important mitigation plans, traffic designs, and the beautiful structure and landscaping designs being proposed, along with the many other benefits when the Mohegan sun sets in Revere. Thank you, Mayor Rizzo and your team, and a special thank to Chip Tuttle and the Suffolk Downs for all your hard work for our great city of Revere. The city of Revere has been a great attraction for many visitors. Revere Beach, the first public beach in the country, has been enjoyed by so many over the years. There are also so many entertainment pleasures no longer in existence and surely missed. I'll be right with you.
Take your time.
When Mohegan Sun comes to Revere, so will the entertainment pleasures of days gone by. Amusements on the beach were enjoyed by children and adults, as well as the many games to test your skills. And I have such wonderful memories of the sandy beach, so crowded that we had to share towels. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the beautiful Ocean View Ballroom and the Frolics nightclub, two showpieces that featured wonderful entertainers. We cannot talk about entertainment in Revere and not mention the Wonderland Ballroom, Dance Hall, and Sports Arena, where boxing and wrestling matches are missed. Also, sorely missed, our wonderful dog track, another Revere establishment gone from our landscape, something that lives on the good homes found for the greyhounds that were adopted by many dog lovers. Suffolk Downs Racecourse, Sport of Kings, enjoyed by so many, standing room only for the latecomers. Suffolk Downs Racetrack, in my opinion, deserves to be included in the Triple Crown Gala with the Massachusetts Handicap. Now I would like to mention what Suffolk Downs has done and still does for Revere. Suffolk Downs, the giver and the do-gooder. Suffolk Downs has held events for special needs children, including games, pony rides, and refreshments. Concerts for all to enjoy. Eddie Andelman's Hot Dog Safari, enjoyed by many. Sporting event shows, athletes signing autographs for happy people. Donations to organizations for good causes. Suffolk Downs Security aided in patrolling the area when fuel spilled out of a nearby storage tank, a possible fire hazard. During heavy snowstorms, Suffolk Downs would allow snow to be placed in the parking lots. They also allowed vehicles to be parked in the lot to aid the city during snow removal. Suffolk Downs has contributed so much to the city of Revere and the surrounding communities.
All right, Mr. Camerata, thank you very much. We'll be
Just a
happy
few
to
more
take...
words, please.
No, we'll be happy to take, sir, the rest of your remarks as written, but
It's only 3 lines, please.
3 lines.
Thank you, Mohegan Sun, for your honest and sincere desire to be part of our city. Once again, thank you, Gaming Commission, for your patience and hard work. Gaming Commission, please make the right choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Camerata. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, Ms. Abrams didn't take the on-deck chair. Scott Mabor and Stephen Russo. Are they in the hall tonight? Mr. Stephen Russo. Yes, sir. And then I'll look for Gary Barrett in the on-deck chair. Mr. Russo.
Thank you. Gaming Commission, thank you for having me. My name is Steve Roussel. I grew up in East Boston. I consider myself a civic leader. I now live in Winthrop with my wife. And I'd just like to tell you what I've observed over the last 5 or 6 years with Suffolk Downs and their partner, Mohegan Sun. I feel that they're the most transparent project out of the two. They participate in a lot of community activities. They came to a multicultural chamber event where there were 5 communities. There was East Boston, Revere, Chelsea, Malden, Everett, and the people from Mohegan Sun were there, a lot with the people from East Boston. So what's happening is they're becoming part of the fabric of the community, and I think that's really important. I think it's important that if you're going to provide leadership, if you're going to be one of the 2 economic engines in this area, in the gateway of New England, I think that you have to have leadership, you have to become part of the fabric of the community, you have to care about the community, and I think that's what, in my opinion, Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs does. They've negotiated with all the surrounding communities. It wasn't easy for them, but again, that's a good example of leadership. Whereas when they had, I think, half the amount, and they still have 2 outstanding commitments that they're going to go to arbitration. I guess the point that I'd like to try to make here is that if every time something comes up, are they going to go to an arbitrator? Or are they going to do what Mohegan Sun did in Suffolk Downs, which was to, respect and have confidence and have a relationship and come to a compromise? I think that's a good example of what I'm seeing with the Mohegan Sun. I think the location is a superior location. I see highway, I see train. My vision is that eventually, I think down the road, once it's all built, I'll see water shuttle and I'll maybe see a tram. I like the fact that I just kind of think that the Wynn people are more corporate. They seem far away. I think that the Mohegan Sun, by them participating, by them going to the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, participating, going into golf tournaments, meeting the people, shaking hands, going to the the affordable housing community organizations, I think that's helpful. I think a project like this needs a leader. It's one thing, I think, that if this was a real small job of a small business owner, but what we have here are thousands and thousands of people that are going to be affected. I think that if I'm the Gaming Commission, I want you all to look back 20 years from now and saying, hey, I made the right decision. I feel that if you do choose the Mohegan Sun, you would be making the right decision. The one thing that I wanted to bring up, I've heard a lot of people's testimony, but this is a subject that has not come up, I think. It's called food insecurity. In this area, there's a lot of people that, because of the amount of money that they make, they don't make a lot. There's a lot of single female mothers that are going to bed hungry. They're not able to feed their kids. It's a real problem. I've seen the Mohegan Sun, I've seen Suffolk Downs participate with the local nonprofit organizations. I just have so much confidence that if Mohegan Sun were to get the license, if you were to choose them, that not a drop of food would go to waste. And because they know all these organizations, they've made it a point to know these organizations, we could fight food insecurity and provide jobs. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next on the list is Gary Barrett. Mr. Barrett didn't answer. Are you here, Mr. Barrett? No. Anne Marie Casey. Ms. Casey, and Gail Miller to the on-deck circle if Ms. Miller is here. Ms. Casey.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I appreciate you all taking the time this evening and throughout this entire process to listen to presentations and testimony. My name is Anne Marie Casey, and I am the Executive Director of the North of Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is the state-designated tourism promotion organization for the 34 cities and towns in Essex County, which includes Lynn, Salem, Gloucester, Rockport, Newburyport, Haverhill, and many more. The North of Boston CVB would like to once again offer our support for Mohegan Sun's proposal to build a destination resort casino in the city of Revere. The CVB's Board of Directors are confident that Mohegan Sun will be a strong tourism partner with us and our member businesses as we work together to promote Essex County and our surrounding regional partners as premier visitor destinations for leisure, group, meetings, and special events travel both domestically and internationally. As Mohegan Sun mentioned in their presentation a few weeks ago, the North of Boston CVB has entered into a partnership agreement with Mohegan Sun. Working together, Mohegan Sun, Massachusetts and the North of Boston CVB will conduct and follow up on sales calls and trade show participation that generate business, economic growth, and tax revenue for Massachusetts. Tourism is currently the third largest economic generator in Massachusetts. In 2012, tourism generated $17.7 billion in direct expenditures and supported 127,000 paying jobs, paying $3.7 billion in wages. And with increased international visitation expected from direct flights, such as Hainan Air, the Beijing to Boston flight, Massachusetts has never been better positioned for increased tourism growth. We will also cross-promote one another not only through job creation and the purchase of goods and services, but also through programs like the Mohegan Sun Massachusetts Momentum Points Partnership Program, tourism events, publications, and initiatives. Methods of cross-promotion also include websites, mailings, on-site kiosks, and visitor centers, and of course, educational and informational seminars and events. Additionally, I would like to mention that the North of Boston CVB is very pleased with Mohegan Sun's commitment to transportation and infrastructure improvements that will not only address resort conditions, but also improve long-standing regional traffic issues, such as the ramps at Route 1 and Route 16, and access from the north to Logan Airport. In conclusion, thank you for all your thoughtful evaluation of the Mohegan Sun's proposal, and we urge you to give them every consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Casey, thank you. Ms. Miller did not answer. Nick Mulayason Sr., am I pronouncing that correctly?
Lance.
Nick Mulayason Sr. Stephen Fielding. Diane Cataldo. Jeffrey Howe. Mr. Howe. And Jane O'Reilly to the on-deck chair.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Howe.
Hi. Thank you for allowing me to speak today before the Commission in support of the Mohegan Sun project in Revere. I'm a 17-year Revere businessman and bank manager on Broadway in Revere. I've also had the privilege of serving as the president of the Chamber of Commerce and been a member for many years as well. Over the years, I've had the pleasure and benefit of interacting and having conversations with literally thousands of Revere business owners and residents. I've witnessed many Revere business owners struggle to increase revenues, and residents have continually asked me if I know anyone hiring. The incidences of businesses and personal customers overdrawing their checking accounts have dramatically increased over the years, and I think we all know how costly that can be. The positive economic impact that the casino would have on Revere businesses and residents cannot be overstated. Mohegan Sun's commitment to spend $10 million annually with Revere vendors would allow businesses to drive revenues, create additional jobs, and prosper. The Mohegan Rewards program would further benefit Revere businesses, not to mention the thousands of casino visitors that might rent a hotel room, buy gas, or go out to eat at one of our city's great restaurants. Mohegan Sun's $50 million commitment within a 15-mile radius would obviously provide similar benefits at a regional level to many local cities and towns. Economies from Boston to Salem would all be strengthened. The construction and permanent jobs created by the casino would create thousands of jobs for Revere residents, offering them hope and the ability to improve the quality of their lives. It would also save the livelihoods of hundreds whose jobs at Suffolk Downs are at stake, and those of all that provide services to the horse racing industry. Make no mistake, this casino represents a critical lifeline for many in Revere. Suffolk Downs and Revere have been planning and working for this casino for many years. I had the honor of introducing Chip Tuttle at a Revere Chamber of Commerce breakfast 7 years ago, and Chip talked about job creation for Revere residents, vendor opportunities for Revere businesses, and even rewards cards being able to be used to buy goods and services from Revere businesses. He also spoke of the tens of millions of dollars that would be spent on infrastructure road improvements to not only handle casino traffic, but to provide much-needed relief for troubled traffic bottlenecks. Over the years, that message has not changed one iota. Mohegan Sun picked up the ball and has been in lockstep with the original message and commitments. Everything we've been told for years remains true today. Mohegan Sun has been a great partner to the city of Revere. Their communications have been frequent, timely, and very clear. They have conducted countless meetings and informational forums to share their plans, to help business owners learn how to become vendors, and to help residents learn how to make careers at Mohegan Sun. Their employees have become our advisors and friends. All of our experiences with Mohegan Sun validate the statement that Mitch Edis made at our last meeting about transparency. They truly have been completely open and very ethical. Mohegan Sun has earned our respect and loyalty. The fact that Mohegan Sun has successfully negotiated agreements with all communities, including Boston, speaks volumes of their business acumen, character, and integrity. Mohegan Sun is the right choice, and Suffolk Downs is the right location. The time is now, and we are all ready to leverage this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create jobs, drive significant revenues at local and state levels, and transform this great city with its historic and beautiful beach into a first-class destination resort. Please cast your votes for Revere and Mohegan Sun at Suffolk Downs. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Powell, thank you. I called Jane O'Reilly, and she didn't answer, so James... Oh, I'm sorry. So I'd ask James Pasquariello to take the on-deck chair, please, if he's here. If not, Kathy Wyatt. If not, John... There's Kathy Wyatt. All right. Ms. O'Reilly.
Thank you, Commissioners. I got lost. I left my glasses. But my name is Jane O'Reilly. I'm a resident of East Boston, a graduate of Harvard, and a retired national political reporter. I've attended almost all of these hearings. I've heard many things, both probable and impossible. I'm concerned about one particular thing today that I've been doing some research into. I've been told, or it is rumored, or perhaps it's even agreed upon somewhere, that the racetrack at Suffolk Downs will continue to operate for 15 years if a casino comes to Revere. There's some doubt, given the news from Moody's Investor Services, from Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, and indeed across the nation and the state of casinos, that casinos may not exist for 15 years. The glamour seems to have grown thin. But there is also, alas, great doubt that Suffolk Downs can continue to exist as a racetrack for 15 years, whether or not it nestles next to a casino. During the 2008 recession, many small horse farms went under. The foal crop, the number of thoroughbred horses born each year, was 35,000 nationally in 2006. It's now 21,000, a decline of 40%. The number of races run in the U.S. also declined to 21,000 this year, a 16% decline. Even so, there are more races than there are available horses. In New York State, there's 1,600 thoroughbred mares and 70 stallions. In Massachusetts, there are 43 thoroughbred mares and 10 listed stallions who are lucky to get more than 4 dates a year. The idea that a connected casino will save a racetrack might be arguable in New York, but it's absurd in Massachusetts. New York has a well-developed, extensive, state-backed, decades-old system of state subsidies for the racetrack industry. Massachusetts has nothing like it. It would have to start from scratch. And in fact, nationally, most racetracks connected to casinos have tended to move toward less racing. The best examples I can think of are tracks in Kentucky, Illinois, Louisiana, and Florida. All are reducing their number of races. Granted, so are tracks unconnected to gaming, such as Colonial Downs in Virginia, which canceled its season this year. Even Saratoga's reduced the number of races planned for this season, and the voters also rejected a casino. Small minor league tracks such as Suffolk Downs are the first to be hit by the nationwide shortage of horses. This season, Suffolk Downs has had trouble filling its races, even when it is open only 3 days a week. In yesterday's race card at Suffolk, for example, the total amount bet on 9 races was $830,000, which means that the track earned less than $50,000 from its share of the betting. From that same race card, Suffolk paid out $118,000 in purses to the owners of successful horses. That was before they paid anyone to sweep the floors and turn on the lights. In today's economic climate, a track like Suffolk can't come anywhere close to breaking even. They are going through the motions, presumably until the shower of gold comes from the putative casino. I myself yearn for the romance of the track as much as anyone.
All right, Ms. O'Reilly, thank you very much. We'd be happy to take the rest of your remarks
I
if
will
they're
send
written
them
out.
to you.
Pardon me?
I will given to you.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Ms. White and John Vitigliano to the on-deck chair, if he's here, and if not, Ellen Wallace. I'm sorry, Ms. Wyatt, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kathy Wyatt, and I'm an abutter to Suffolk Downs on Waldemar Avenue, East Boston. My family and I aren't just a stone's throw away, 2 miles away, a block away, or up the hill. Our backyard shares a property line with Suffolk Downs. We are a matter of feet away from the starting gates. So close that someone in the house usually yells, "They're off," when they hear the ring of the bell and the clang of the gates opening as a race starts. So close that when the morning sun is burning the dew off the grass and the fog is lifting, I can actually hear the horses' hooves on the track and see their breaths when they are out conditioning. When I look out my back window, I usually see green and blue. Green grass, green trees, green shrubs and bushes, and a beautiful blue sky that stretches all the way to Revere Beach, which is more than a mile away. In the evenings, when the setting sun reflects off the buildings on Revere Beach, it makes them look like they're on fire. Double rainbows arch across the sky after a summer rain. It's so peaceful and serene that sometimes I forget I'm living in the city. But I fear that my little piece of paradise will be lost if Mohegan Sun is not granted the gaming license in Massachusetts. Suffolk Downs will eventually close its doors, and its 79-year legacy of thoroughbred racing will end. Developers are already chomping at the bit with their plans, and none of them will make any improvements to our roads and traffic conditions. I doubt that they will enhance and preserve the green space or train employees for salaried positions with benefits that Mohegan Sun has proposed. I doubt very much that when I look out my back window in the future, I will see any green space, never mind all the way to the beach like I do now. Do my opponents realize the gravity of the alternative if Mohegan Sun is passed over for the gaming license? I wish they would think about who and what is going to be affected. To say that they would rather have the 161 acres bulldozed over and developed into a strip mall, low-income housing, or possibly a freight company without any improvement to the traffic situation is ludicrous. Suffolk Downs just isn't a racetrack. It's part of the East Boston and Revere communities. If Mohegan Sun obtains the gaming license in Massachusetts, it would mean saving Suffolk Downs and the hundreds of jobs. Some of those employees have been working there for more than 30 years and are close to retirement. What are they going to do if Suffolk Downs closes, especially with the economy the way it is? How are they going to earn a living and support their families? Who is going to offer them health insurance, especially to someone who has a pre-existing condition? Who's going to find such dependable and faithful employees who love their jobs as much as those at Suffolk Downs? Will my opponents be willing to support those who will be out of their jobs, or would they rather have them go on welfare? If Mohegan Sun doesn't get the gaming license in Massachusetts and Suffolk Downs does close, not only will the actual racetrack be gone, but so will the best neighbors in the world. Neighbors who have always been concerned with my welfare and asked for my opinions and my concerns before moving forward with their plans for hosting events such as Cirque du Soleil, the Hot Dog Safari, the Phantom Gourmet Rib Fest and beach parties, autism walks, concerts, and Cavalia. Most likely, we will have to sell the house that we have lived in for the past 13 years, our home where we have raised our 2 boys, the home that we bought because of the nice big backyard and the beautiful view. But who wants to live beside a strip mall, freight company, or low-income housing? There will be no more green and blue, no more green grass, no more green trees, no more green shrubs and bushes, no more beautiful blue sky, no more immaculately groomed grounds, no more beautiful landscaping, no more horses, no more peace and quiet. So I'm asking that when you make your decision, please remember me and my family and a song that Joni Mitchell used to sing, "They paved paradise to put up a parking lot." Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. John Vitigliano and Ellen Wallace to the on-deck seat. You're close enough.
Thank you very much, members of the Commission, for the opportunity to speak today very briefly. I would just like to reiterate exactly what the previous speaker has said about the value of Suffolk Downs. She took the words out of my mouth, but much more eloquently than I could possibly do. I had the privilege of living in East Boston for 12 years when I was the City of Boston Transportation Commissioner, living in Orient Heights, overseeing Suffolk Downs, and she described Suffolk Downs and its value toward East Boston exactly. And in fact, the green area inside the racetrack is perhaps, I believe, one of the largest green spaces inside East Boston. And if so the Suffolk Downs ever has to fold up, it will also mean the loss of all the green area. I live in Winthrop. I wanted to, thank, for example, Mohegan Sun for its very generous community or surrounding community agreement with my town, which will mean an awful lot to the economic development of the town of Winthrop, which of course could only happen if the commission awards the Region A license to Mohegan Sun, which I implore you to do so. One of the issues that, for example, has come up time and again with respect to the casino proposals is the value of the jobs. About 2 or 3 years ago, UMass Boston published a very in-depth study of the value of casino wages across the country. And that study told, for example, that casino wages were extraordinarily stable and of a very high value compared to the typical wages of jobs across the country. I don't have it with me, but if it's okay with the commission, I would like to email you a copy of that within the next day or so. I thought it was very, very instructive. One of the aspects of the Mohegan Sun proposal that I've been particularly intrigued with, I've spent some 45 years as a transportation planner and a strong supporter of public transportation. And one of the great aspects of the Mohegan Sun proposal is its dependence on, for example, the MBTA Blue Line as a major element of its transportation infrastructure proposal, particularly in comparison to the other casino proposal on the table for Everett. The Everett proposal, for example, references the accessibility of its casino site to existing MBTA heavy rail stations in Everett. The closest one is 1.2 miles. The next one is 1.5 miles. And the next one that will be coming online in a few months will be 1.6 miles at the Assembly Square Mall. With respect to the Mohegan Sun proposal for Revere, we're talking about literally 121 feet from the main entrance to the casino proposal, half a block to the MBTA station at Beachmont. This is a relatively new station, fully escalator and elevator equipped for handicap services and so forth, with direct service right into Boston's Logan Airport and downtown Boston, being served by relatively new 6-car trains. And at some point, with the potential of further access directly to the site from the North Shore, as Blue Line extensions continue to escalate up, in terms of proposals which have been on the table at the state. So we could be, so that an award by you to Region A, for the Region A licensed school Mohegan Sun would actually, have historic implications for this particular proposal. It would be a genuine transit-oriented development site. And I would like to just close my remarks by commending, for example, Mayor Rizzo from Revere for having the political integrity and courage to keep this proposal on the table and benefiting my community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Castillo. All right, Ms. Wallace and Alejandro Magno to the on-deck circle. Diego Pizarro, why don't you start, Ms. Wallace? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Ellen Wallace. I'm the Sub-Regional Director of Region 9A of the United Auto Workers. Our region includes the New England states, Eastern New York, including New York City and Long Island, and Puerto Rico. As you may know, in the gaming industry, the UAW represents more gaming dealers than any other union in the country, with workers at facilities in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Atlantic City, Ohio, Detroit, Indiana, and Las Vegas. We represent about 1,800 dealers at Foxwoods in Connecticut, and all of the workers at Newport Grand Slots in Rhode Island. In March, we testified at the surrounding community hearing in support of Mohegan Sun's application for a resort casino in Revere, because of its strong commitment to labor harmony, and I'm pleased to testify to reaffirm our support for this application. On June 25th, we testified at the Everett host community hearing about WIN's approach to the gaming statute's requirements generally and their approach to labor relations in particular. Their approach is to figure out how they can do less than the statute requires. Here are just 3 examples that are concerning to future employees. They proposed a repeal of the on-site daycare requirements. They want to weaken the pooled tip provision, and they refuse to discuss labor harmony for gaming dealers. In deep contrast, Mohegan Sun's approach to the statute and labor relations is to ask, how can we do more? Do we meet and exceed the goals of the statute? This is so with its focus on the entire region, not just its host community, with its more than 300 partnerships with local businesses, with its inclusive surrounding community agreements, and with its signed labor harmony agreements with many unions that will protect 100% of its permanent non-supervisory employees. Mohegan Sun is the only casino applicant that submitted these labor agreements with its application. It is committed to a unionized workforce in its host community agreement with the city of Revere, and it has a project labor agreement with the unions for the construction of the facility. Labor harmony agreements help achieve the 3 goals of the Expanded Gaming Act: revenue for the state, regional economic development, and job creation. With its positive approach to labor, to local businesses, and to the community at large, Mohegan Sun will give us the best chance of achieving the aspirations of the statute. Mohegan Sun has worked hard to become integrated into the community and a good corporate citizen, even before the license is awarded. They have done extensive outreach, and we know who they are. This bodes well for the kind of collaboration we can expect if you award them the Region A license. For all of these reasons, we urge you to award the license to Mohegan Sun. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. All right, I called Alejandro Magno, Mr. Magno, and then Diego Pizarro to the ready chair. Mr. Magno.
Good afternoon. My name is Diego Pizarro, also known as Alejandro Magno.
Oh, okay.
I'm a criminal justice student. I'm a homeowner and a resident of Revere. I'm a father of a 4-month-old baby, and I speak in behalf of thousands of Latinos that are currently working right now and would like to voice their opinion as well. I'm a community leader. I work in the communities of Chelsea, East Boston, and Revere in so many ways for so many years, specifically with the high-risk youth. I have seen the need of those in need of support. I've worked with high-risk youth that are heavily involved in gangs, substance abuse, and other problems that we face in these main cities: Chelsea, Revere, and East Boston. The police department, the district attorney's office, the court system will all agree with me that we do need a lot of support, especially here in Revere. I am the president also of the Colombian Festival here, which every year brings over 9,000 people. We started in East Boston, now we're here at Suffolk Downs. I was there this morning coordinating what's going to be one of the biggest Latino festivals here in the area this Sunday, which is the Colombian Festival. It's an open invitation for all communities to join and celebrate with us. This festival benefits all local businesses in East Boston and Revere. We like to embrace our roots and once again open all nationalities and all communities to join us. I'm very focused in building a career at this time, working on my bachelor's degree at Bay State College. I took the police exam last year and passed with a 94 to become a Revere police officer here. I'm on a waiting list due to the lack of budget for the Revere Police Department. The Revere Police Department has been understaffed for several years, we all know that. An average of 4 to 5 police officers patrol Revere streets at night. We need more than that. Revere will be a better city to work and raise our kids. Your decision, gentlemen, will impact the generations of thousands. We hope you take our voices into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, the next on my list is Anne Gwange. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Guange. All right, would you come forward?
Back there.
Oh yeah, here she comes. And Stephanie Scopa would be the next up, if you'd come to the ready chair.
Good afternoon. My name is Ann Gwange. Commissioners, good afternoon. First and foremost, thank you very much for allowing me the time to express my support for Mohegan Sun, Massachusetts. I stand here before you as an unemployed, long East Boston resident and a major supporter of Suffolk Downs, their partner Mohegan Sun, and the vision they have to change Revere, the region of the Commonwealth, like ever before. This is passionate to me, so hang in there, guys.
No, take
just
your time.
a little wreck.
Take your time.
You'll find out why in a minute. I have expressed my opinion to the commission several times. I've done so because I am very passionate and believe in this project than anything I've ever believed in before in my life. As I mentioned, I'm unemployed and things aren't going so well for me in my life right now. This is an opportunity that can't be missed and something that can turn people's lives around, such as myself and many others in the situation I face myself in today. As you enter the final moments of this process, I'm sure you can consistently hear both good and bad things about the casino. You hear positive, negative impacts regarding this project, but this benefits not only outweighs the negatives. In this situation, we truly desperately need the positive effects to come through for all of us, not just me. Mohegan Sun is the best fit for the region. They are really true to the word and ready to bring every promise and commitment to fruition. Last week, Mohegan Sun signed the most lucrative and generous surrounding agreement in the state. The agreement with Boston will provide significant economic community benefits along with a minimum of $300 million in direct payments to the city over 15 years. This project will have endless impacts and do nothing but benefit the region, the state, unlike anything else. They are the right choice for this license, and I hope you agree. Thank you for the time and consideration. Best of luck in your hard decision. Don't ever let anybody tell you in this room that you're not worth anything. I'm 52 years old and worked all my life. I know I'm good-hearted and work hard. But suddenly someone turned around and told me that I'm too old, and yet I know I have 20 more years to live and to work hard and to offer someone. The casino will not discriminate against age, race, religion, or gender. Look at yourselves today and count yourself very lucky if you have a job. Thank you for your time, and please consider the people that are 40 years old and older. It's not just about the youth today, it's about the rest of us also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marjorie. I called Stephanie Scopa, who is not here, I take it. Mark Berninger. Candy Lopresti. Anna Lanzilli. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yep.
and then Nancy Burns to the ready chair.
Good evening, Massachusetts Gaming Commission. My name is Anna Lanzilli, and I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the many employed at Suffolk Downs. My husband, David, has been employed by Suffolk for the last 10 years as an accountant. He has seen the financial struggle to keep the doors open at Suffolk Downs. But he has also seen the determination and commitment the owners have to their employees in the historic racing industry. Suffolk Downs has a 78-year legacy of thoroughbred racing and wagering, and also has been active year-round as a simulcast venue, along with live racing 6 to 8 months per year. At the height of the racing season, over 1,000 people work on the property. 325 are employed by Suffolk Downs and its 5 primary on-site vendors. Over 1,000 people are licensed by the Commonwealth to work at the facility. Thoroughbred racing, breeding, and related businesses in Massachusetts currently supports 1,486 jobs, utilizes 6,650 acres of farmland, and have a total annual economic impact of $116.3 million. The economic impact can grow with the healthier thoroughbred racing and breeding industry in the Commonwealth. All this can only continue or have the opportunity to develop if Mohegan Sun, Massachusetts earns the Category 1 license for its region. The City of Boston has signed a host community agreement with Mohegan Sun last week. The City of Boston has also signed an agreement with Suffolk Downs, which will preserve hundreds of jobs and secure revenue through continued property and real estate taxes. Suffolk Downs has agreed they will keep their track open for the duration of the initial 15 years license. In addition, if Suffolk Downs begins any reconstruction or revitalization of their property, the City of Boston will serve in a master planning and oversight role. I was happy to hear last week that the City of Boston reached a surrounding host agreement with Mohegan. This has secured a significant economic and community benefit to the City of Boston, along with a minimum of $300 million direct payments to the city for the next 15 years. The city will also benefit from Mohegan Sun's $45 million transportation plan, which will mitigate all measurable transportation impacts in Revere and East Boston small businesses. Revere residents have continued to support the project in their city. My father, who is in the audience today, has been a resident of Revere for the last 40 years. He owns not 1 but 2 properties in the city. One of his properties' backyard abuts the track. My father is a strong supporter of this project, and this 73-year-old man, along with his wife, went out not only once but twice and voted yes. And on November 4th, I can join my father and my mother, along with all Massachusetts residents, in voting no to not repeal expanded gaming. And I cannot wait to check off that box. My dad supports the creation of the new jobs, the $45 million in transportation improvements, and the economical benefits this project will have to the city of Revere. My father-in-law, who also sits in the audience today, is a homeowner in Revere, and he also wants to see the Mohegan project be granted the Regional A license. As a former business owner himself, he sees the opportunity to local businesses and the commitment Mohegan has made to buying local. Last month, in a poll obtained in the News Service Commission by Mohegan Sun, 50% of voters prefer the Mohegan proposal compared to 22% for the Wynn plan. This is a 2-in-1 favor for the Mohegan project. The support for this project extends way past Revere. Mohegan has a rock-solid plan that is overwhelmingly winning over the Wynn Resort proposal. Revere has not only voted once but twice to have this casino in their Commonwealth. I stand here today asking the Commission to grant Mohegan Sun the license so that the jobs at Suffolk Downs are preserved, as well as the creation of new jobs in the city. We have seen what the closing of Wonderland has done to the community of Revere. Wynn cannot do or provide what Suffolk Downs and Mohegan will. They are the right choice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nancy Burns, and then Kim Luiso is in the next, in the ready chair. Ms. Burns.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Orlando. I've spoke before you 2 or 3 times, but today Nancy is unable to attend because of a work commitment, so she asked if I read her statement, if you allow me. Thank you.
Surely.
Nancy Burns has been a resident of Revere her entire life. The benefits that a resort casino can bring to the city of Revere is a no-brainer for her. She sees a full vision that this venture will bring to her city as well as the surrounding communities, and the vision is key. Revere has always been a gambling community. Now a proposed world-class resort with not just a casino, but restaurants, entertainment, shopping, and concerts will just make this venture even better. Other sections of the city can only grow as well. Empty buildings and businesses will once again be filled and thrive. No more empty lots and unmaintained buildings. Nancy said it before. It's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. Additional bonuses, including road improvements, schools, and the economic benefit to small businesses is so important. She sees a vision of all the surrounding areas benefiting from this project and all the current businesses thriving and continuing to grow. The small mom and pop shops that make up the community will benefit greatly. She is personally very excited about this venture in her city, and she hopes the commission can see that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, I called Kim Luiso, Ms. Luiso, and Robert Rapucci, please, to the ready chair if you're here. If not, Frank Pioppi.
Thank
Ms.
you for
Luiso.
giving me the opportunity to speak today. I've changed my mind a few times about the things that I wanted to say. What it comes down to is I keep hearing the word community, and being a lifelong resident of Revere, Revere is a community. That's family. And we've partnered with Mohegan Sun, which Mohegan is a tribe, which is another family. And we've kind of joined and made it one family. And doing that, we're keeping jobs that are already here. We're not getting rid of jobs. We're trying to keep existing ones that our family and friends have. And to stand there and one day, if you say no and have to hand their last paycheck to a family that has 2 kids and maybe one on the way, and say, sorry, we did everything we could, but, you know, it's not going to work out. It's very tough to handle. What I want to say is they're in it for the long haul, the long term. Mohegan Sun, it's kind of being their backyard, having their facility come here and be in Revere, and all they're doing is making a new playground for themselves. If something goes wrong long term, it's going to affect their bottom line in Connecticut. It's going to be here, it's going to cause trouble and make things not work out all the way around. So they're going to make sure everything goes smoothly. They're making sure they work with the surrounding communities and the families that need the help and make sure things are done. Going with the wind side, he's across the country. If he doesn't get it, he's going to stay over there in little tax write-off. If he does get it and doesn't like how it hands out, what's he going to do? Well, I'm bored with this, and let me sell it to somebody else, and things can trickle down and be bad even more down the way long term. And that's my concern. The long-term commitment that we're seeing with Mohegan Sun is a tremendous victory for us. Keeping jobs that we already have, do not want to lose. And that trickles down even in our city. Having the dog track closed, we lost not only walkers and tellers and wait staff that work there, we lost city jobs because that revenue no longer came in. And if Mohegan Sun does not get to open a facility, we're going to lose jobs at the horse track, and that's going to trickle down. So when you're talking about police not being enough, well, we may have to fire one more because we don't have that revenue coming in. So it's not just the track that's going to be losing jobs. We'll lose more jobs in the city, in the mom and pop stores, because those families are now laid off and can't buy dinner that they normally did for the family that may have been $50 for the week. But you have 5 to 10 families doing that at one restaurant that they get pizza and sandwiches from. They're going to start having to lay people off too. So it's the trickle-down effect that we'll be losing big time if Revere does not get this. So that's where I'm hoping that you can understand it's the loss of jobs, not just the gain of jobs. So please consider Revere as a yes and the long-term effects. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Luiso. All right, Mr. Rapucci, Mr. Novak, Mr. Rapucci.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you very much for this opportunity to testify today. My name is Robert Rapucci, and I'm the Executive Director for Community Action Programs Intercity Incorporated, called CAPIC. We have offices that are located throughout the Chelsea, Revere, and Winthrop area. CAPIC is a private nonprofit corporation. We're state and federally designated as a community action agency. We're the local anti-poverty agency. We serve the communities of Chelsea, Revere, and Winthrop. We were chartered in 1967. We're governed by a 21-member board of directors, community-based board of directors. We provide about 15,000 units of service annually to area residents, Chelsea, Revere, and Winthrop, who live in poverty. Our goal is to create employment opportunities that will help individuals and families become self-sufficient and leave their reliance on public assistance. I'm originally from Revere. I've worked for this company since 1972, and I've been executive director there since 1978. In 2009, City of Revere commissioned CAPIC to develop an employment training program in the Shirley Ave neighborhood. This was in response to recommendations that were made by a Gateway Cities Plus initiative. And to that extent, we went out and we developed these programs, GED, ESL, computer training programs. Those programs continue to operate right within that neighborhood today. But I want to stop here just for a minute, and I just want to share an observation that I made from the last hearing that you conducted here. That's with regard to some of the comments that were made by the opponents of the plan. You know, as I listened to the people that were opposed, I could only think if they were making these comments based upon the competitive nature of the process, then I could respect that. But to make these unfounded allegations about our elected officials, I can't respect that decision. These are people that have dedicated their careers to public service and to the betterment of the city of Revere. So it's very unfair, and I found it, quite frankly, very revealing. You know, I'm invested in this project. I'm a stakeholder. I operate a community program, community-based program, and my interest here is to help these 30 to 50 people that come to our office every week, oftentimes the same people. They're looking for help to pay their mortgage, to pay their rent, and a lot of the times just to put food on the table. So I wish that some of these opponents, that they had the opportunity to maybe come to our offices and deal with these issues, these problems that people have on a daily basis. And of course, these problems are all a result of lack of employment. Commissioners, I want to tell you that the landscape of poverty has changed. It now extends to those lifelong Revere residents. These are people that we've gone to school with. These are our neighbors. These are people that unexpectedly have lost their jobs. I don't want to see these Suffolk Downs employees be standing in the lines at the CAPIC offices for help with their mortgage and for fuel assistance and to put food on the table. So we're on the front lines. We need this project to boost the Revere community, and in simple terms, we need the jobs. So the good news. In anticipation of this emerging job market, CAPIC has developed a job readiness certification program in conjunction with Mohegan Sun, Suffolk Downs, the American Training Corporation, the City of Revere, and the town of Winthrop. The City of Chelsea has also expressed an interest to participate. The unique initiative promises to certify 800 area residents in acquiring basic job readiness skills within the first 2 years. Our plan does not stop there. We'll also be providing comprehensive social support services, daycare, helping people with housing problems, child care needs, and gambling addiction. Finally, we'll establish a food service handler certification program also. They're going to teach people in a test kitchen how to work in the industry before they get there. So we are delighted by the proactive and enthusiastic manner by which Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs has embraced the Revere community and the stakeholders such as CAPIC. Clearly, they are invested in seeing that Revere residents benefit from an improved quality of life, and we urge the Commission to award the license to Mohegan Sun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rapucci. All right, I called Frank Pioppi. Is Mr. Pioppi here? Yes. And Gina Walker to the ready table, ready seat, I should say, if you're here. All right, Mr.
Good evening, Gaming Commission. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Frank Pioppi. I currently reside in Winthrop. My family owns Luigi's Italian Eatery, located at 616 Winthrop Avenue, directly across from Suffolk Downs and Beachmont train station. Since 1981, my family has served as direct abutter to Suffolk Downs and potentially direct abutter to Mohegan Sun proposed casino project. Addressing the issue of traffic, Luigi's was the first restaurant in the city to offer a food delivery service. Understanding traffic was a way of life for our business. Most of our revenue was generated through our delivery service, and our targeted delivery area was the Tri-City community of Revere, Winthrop, and East Boston. During the time of full employment by Suffolk Downs and Wonderland Park, our average delivery time to any destination in the Tri-City community was only 15 minutes after preparation time, and that figure still holds true today. I believe the concerns related to the proposed traffic issues are completely exaggerated. Mohegan Sun, the City of Revere, will address these concerns appropriately. They will be able to rectify any potential problems. Traffic will be mitigated, and I am not concerned. What I am concerned about, however, is the potential loss of jobs in our community. I hold in my hand 1 week's worth of job applications on a weekly basis. These are good people who are just trying to find work. The community is still feeling the effect of Wonderland Park closing. Many decent jobs were lost. Previously, anybody who wanted to work was able to do so. In today's world, that is not the case. Some opponents have mentioned the potential rising crime. I believe there is no greater risk for crime than a person who cannot find a job to feed his or her family. Suffolk Downs currently employs 800 employees. Most, if not all, of the employees have patronized my family's business, and I am sure they have patronized many businesses in the Tri-City communities. One person's spending is another person's income, and without a job, one person cannot spend. Without spending, the community cannot hire, and we're all in a hiring freeze right now. Take the story of William Lazari, 57 years old, who lives with his wife and 2 children at 82 Washburn Avenue, 4 houses up from my family's restaurant. He visits at least twice a week. Suffolk Downs has employed William for the past 37 years. The loss of his job would be devastating to his family, as it would be to the other approximately 800 people who work there. He wouldn't be able to pay his mortgage, feed his children. I know the Tri-City community would suffer a tremendous loss if Suffolk Downs were to close. The ecosystem of the thoroughbred racing industry is spread throughout the Commonwealth, and we'd all feel the negative effects. From the breeding farms, to the layup farms, to the haying, gray, alfalfa farms, and so many more. Leasing the Revere side of Suffolk Downs to Mohegan Sun will ensure the racing industry presence in Massachusetts. Some opponents have criticized Mr. Tuttle and the owners of Suffolk Downs. My family would like to thank them. Our business and the businesses of the Tri-City community have greatly benefited from their employment, and Suffolk Downs has served as a phenomenal neighbor. I'm extremely excited about the 4,000 plus new jobs that will be created if the proposal project by Mohegan Sun is approved. I believe the communities of Winthrop, Revere, and East Boston will all experience a much-needed economic boost. Currently, there are not enough people spending because there are not enough people working. I look forward to the tourism dollars that will give folks a chance to work at a respectable wage. Mohegan Sun and their staff has been honest, open, transparent during this whole process. They have included the business community as well as the residents in their quest to be awarded the Class A Eastern Regional Gaming License. This is truly a circumstance where the rising tide of economic activities can lift all boats. For both myself and my family, the choice is clear what this project should be: the preservation of jobs, the revival of the dynamic thoroughbred racing industry in Massachusetts, and the major economic boost to our region are all positive results that we can look forward to. Beachmont Revere is where this project deserves to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, next on my list is Gina Walker, Ms. Walker, and Jean Vecchia is in the ready chair. Ms. Walker.
Commissioner McHugh and members of the commission, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And thank you for the opportunity. It's nice to see you again. My name is Gina Walker, Chief Operating Officer and partner at North Shore Shuttle Be Driven, a diversified passenger transportation company based here in Revere. You may recall I addressed you at the Boston Convention Center back in March, at which time I expressed my enthusiasm and optimism for the possibility of Mohegan Sun coming to Revere. I told you that I was excited about the opportunity Mohegan Sun will bring to the region, from jobs to connecting the missing link between the North Shore and our world-class city of Boston, including the historic thoroughbred racetrack and the partnership they've established with the City Center for Performing Arts as one of many alliances the Suffolk Mohegan team have strategically built throughout the region. I also talked about the integrity I've observed in the Suffolk Mohegan team, having worked with them over the past 2 years. Today, however, I'd like to speak about a concern many have expressed over traffic. Let me begin by reminding us all that gridlock is not a new phenomenon to this area, and nor is it something Mohegan Sun intends to bring. Gridlock is an existing problem that Suffolk Downs and Mohegan Sun have made a significant commitment to alleviate. The proof of their commitment is in the agreements with the host city and surrounding cities and towns, in which they clearly outline a financial obligation to the region to improve roads, schools, and infrastructure. And speaking of infrastructure, my father, who grew up in Revere, told me today, on his 84th birthday, Bell Circle has remained much the same from the day he was born. As a transportation provider with a fleet of vehicles on Route 1A every day, if anyone should be concerned about gridlock, it should be us. But rather, we view this time as an opportunity to innovate and be part of a solution to existing traffic conditions. We believe it is our responsibility to help make a difference, and we are passionate about reducing gridlock and creating jobs. Over 35 years ago, North Shore Shuttle, now also known as Be Driven, coined the shared van ride to Logan Airport as one of many service options between the North Shore and Greater Boston. Today, Be Driven aims to make a local difference in a global effort to reduce gridlock by providing corporate-sponsored employee commuter shuttles. Again, not a new phenomenon, but a proven and successful one in other parts of the country, and growing in popularity among our clients as well. We believe by working together with Boston businesses and neighboring cities and towns in a regional effort to mitigate traffic, Mohegan Sun can help. Perhaps their account will call for solar-powered buses, and guess what? We'll make it happen. Yes, we are indeed focused on the prospect of Mohegan Sun to help grow our business and create jobs, and we hope others are similarly focused on growth opportunities for their businesses as well. I respectfully ask the Commission to vote in favor of Mohegan Sun to start the engine for progress toward a bright future for the city of Revere that will benefit the entire region. Let's not wait another 84 years for progress to begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Jean Vecchia, Barry Huck is next to the ready chair, please. Mr. Vecchia.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the Commission. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jean Vecchia, and I reside at 49 Burnett Road in Revere. And like others who have spoke before me, I too am a lifelong resident, 57 years and a third generation of Revere. I speak today in support of the Mohegan Sun project. I think back to 2011, which seems so long ago, when the gaming legislation finally came to the forefront. What really jumped out at the time was that it would be a great jobs creator, and boy, the Commonwealth really needed that. And added to that was the preservation of thoroughbred racing, which has been an institution at Suffolk Downs and in our community for the past 78 years. With that, I was on board. So now we fast forward 3 years and a lot has transpired. 2 applicants for the project, 2 elections, and yes, Revere did say yes twice. A very lucrative host community agreement, 12 surrounding community agreements, hundreds of vendor and business partnerships, local economic interest, regional activity, and the list goes on and on. This goes on beyond anything that we could ever imagine happening to our city. Transformational, like it's been mentioned before, and this is going to be something. But I have to go back to my original feelings. Suffolk Downs employs 800 permanent employees. Not awarding this license to Mohegan Sun is going to add 800 to 1,000 people to our state's unemployment. Revere had to endure this back in 2010 when Wonderland Park closed due to the elimination of greyhound racing. And I don't think we should have to experience this again. And I hope you feel the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vecchia. All right, I called Barry Huck. Mr. Huck is here.
No, he's
No.
not going to speak. He's not going to speak.
Michael Mangan, M-A-N-G-A-N. Bob Upton. Bob Upton? No. Daniel Skerritt, Bob Upton, Mr. Upton, yes, sir. And then Daniel Skerritt would be next. If you could come forward,
Good afternoon,
Mr.
Commissioners. Thank you very much. My name is Bob Upton, and I am the president of the Revere Chamber of Commerce, and I do welcome and appreciate this opportunity to once again speak in front of you as commissioners, and also in support of the applicant, Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs, both active and very aggressive members of the Chamber of Commerce. They've helped us to grow the Chamber of Commerce in the 2 years that we've been working with Suffolk Downs and the new applicant, Mohegan Sun. Our Chamber of Commerce has grown in numbers and in revenue, and it's actually a very exciting time to be in the presidency of the Chamber of Commerce and also working with these Revere businesses. I do represent approximately 200 Revere businesses, nonprofits, and individuals. I believe this to be an exciting time for Revere businesses because I can see a lot of incentive here. We've been working with the City of Revere and the Economic Development Office with the city, and we've been learning a lot about what this can mean for this area, for our small businesses, with a $10 million commitment in the local agreement, as well as a $50 million mitigation package as well for surrounding areas. We think that's fantastic for those people that are going to be working with us as members of the Chamber of Commerce to help to improve their businesses. As a gateway city to Boston's North Shore, we have forged alliances and built relationships with our regional partners to explore ways to capitalize on this potential for increased business growth, specifically as it pertains to travel and tourism. And it just happens to be that this week we will be hosting the Revere Beach National Sand Sculpting Festival. We'll be bringing in approximately 350 to 450,000 people into this area, and that is significant. We're going into our 11th year. Hopefully there won't be any problems. I don't expect that there will be. We will be able to handle that traffic. It will be a great way for us to increase travel and tourism opportunity for business development in this area as well. I think it's something to take note that when you have 350 to 450,000 people coming into this area, it's telling you something. It's telling you that they will come. If you build something as great as we know Mohegan Sun will be, they will come to this area. They will spend money. There'll be plenty of opportunity for the entrepreneurial spirited people in this area as well as for the existing businesses that are here. We have this sand sculpting festival that's really only for 3 or 4 days. In fact, this year it's from the 18th, 19th, and 20th. But there are plenty of people that are here in advance of that. There will be plenty of people that will be staying afterwards. But they go home at night when the sand sculpting festival is over. And I think there's plenty of opportunity there as well for more business growth. When you bring in that number of people into this area, there's additional spending that can be had if there was more there for them to utilize and to take advantage of. So I see that as something else to really consider. We also here in Revere this past week, we had a mural at the gateway portion of Revere Beach at Shirley Avenue, which is of great interest to that particular area. We see it as a great place for us to look at business development and growth in Revere. I would also say that we had Hollywood here this week. We had Johnny Depp. They came here filming a Black Mass because they see Revere Beach as a possible film site for a big screen movie such as that. It's really interesting to see that people will come into this area. Revere is a very positive area. We're a passionate group of people. As you can see in the last 2 hearings that you've seen here, and probably by my own tone about the support of this community, we are a passionate group of people. You had people talking about a lifeline. This is certainly something that people need. People need the jobs. They need opportunity. They're willing to work, but they are looking for that opportunity. Our business members are looking for business growth, and I think that this really does provide us with that opportunity. So I thank you once again for this opportunity, and I really hope you will consider all the factors that will go into making this a great Mohegan Sun world-class resort casino here at Suffolk Downs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oakley. All right, Daniel Skerritt, Kevin McCarthy, Dennis Moschella, William Jackson, Mr. Jackson, and Joanne McKenna will be next. To the ready, Chair, please, if you're here. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, members of the Commission. Before I start my commentary, I'd like to thank the woman who got up earlier. She was against the casino. And actually, she was quoting, I think, the gross or the handle at Suffolk Downs. It wasn't very high. She didn't understand that she was arguing in favor of the casino. Why? Because when the casino goes in over there, there's going to be more people going to Suffolk Downs. I'd like to begin by thanking each of you for your professionalism and indeed your patience throughout these hearings. And by the way, that word patience brings me to another brief topic off the script. Last week, or at the last hearing, each of you was insulted and abused, and also the mayor, by a gentleman who got up and spoke, accusing each of you by name of bringing upon prostitution, addiction, drinking, and everything else if this casino goes through. I apologize to all of you on behalf of the people of Revere. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, a son of Boston and Massachusetts, once said, "There's an ancient saying, to begin a voyage of 1,000 miles requires the first step." Well, we have reached 1,000 miles. Tonight marks the culmination of all the efforts of the hundreds, if not thousands, of Revere residents to bring a casino to this city. Our residents have not acted in a capricious manner. They have thought long and hard. They have studied the issues. They've looked at the numbers and the attributes that Mohegan Sun will bring to this city. The results were two, not one, two elections on the casino, which were overwhelmingly voted yes. And by the way, the margin of victory in both of these votes would be considered a landslide if it were a political election. Isn't that right, Mr. Mayor? A landslide? With respect to the people of Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs, they have been unceasingly kind. They have been highly professional, and I think they deserve a nice round of applause for this audience. I firmly believe that when you take the vote, it will be a unanimous victory for Revere. With everything that you have seen in Revere, with everything that you have heard about Revere, to vote no casino in Revere would be a tragic and an egregious mistake on your part. I'd like to close with another quote from John Kennedy. One of the first decisions that he had to make upon becoming president was the Bay of Pigs invasion, which was a complete disaster. It was the best thing that ever happened to him because that would never happen again. The next thing that happened in Cuba was that John F. Kennedy got the Soviet Union to turn their boats around and go right straight home to Russia.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jackson.
There was a little more, but that's all right.
Thank you. We get the drift. We get the point. Thank you very much, sir. Joanne McKenna. Ms. McKenna. Gerald Esposito. Louis Minicucci. Matilda Bonafardecci.
Someone coming up.
Yes. All right. And then Frank Sabio would be next up. Mr. Sabio would come forward.
Well, I think the person before me took a lot of words out of my mouth here, but good evening, members of the Mass Gaming Commission.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Matilda Bonafardecci. My husband and I have been longtime residents in the city of Revere. We have two children who both attend Revere Public Schools and are very involved in citywide activities. I also have extended family here, such as my mom, dad, and sister. So as you can see, my love for the city extends well beyond me. and we all support Mohegan Sun at Suffolk Downs. This is not the first time I speak before you. The first time I spoke before you, I touched on how important it is from a family's perspective to see this come to Revere, for all the benefits it can bring to our youth. Just to refresh your memory, here are a few. $1 million a year to public schools, a brand new youth center, new and improved stadium and parks, and one of my personal favorites, a new high school to be built. I know that at the last hearing, most people touched on why Revere is a better choice over Everett, and people like Morris and Bobby McKenna have done a great job in telling you why we are. So since they have covered that, I wanted to talk a little bit on how I think the residents are feeling at this point. In my opinion, we as a community have grown stronger and stronger, and I tell you why. You see, we have had to go through some hurdles, and every time we turn around, there seems to be another one. We had to vote once, like everybody else, but no one else had to vote twice. Least to say, Revere has shown over and over again how badly we want and need this, and how we always come back stronger. And I think the proof was in our second vote, with an overwhelming turnout and a landslide win. I attend many things throughout our city, and without a doubt, the issue of the casino always comes up. And oftentimes, parents ask me, what else can we do to make this happen? I say at this point, it's out of our hands and up to the Mass Gaming Commission to make their decision. The people of Revere are still so very eager to see this become a reality and are still very much in favor of this project. Our mayor is very passionate about our city and wants to make it a place where everybody wants to come, whether it is to live here or just visit. He has always been respectful to both sides, pro and con, contrary of what people have said at these hearings in regards to that. It's really disheartening to me when people who don't even live in our city pretend to even know our mayor and his constituents. It's just annoying. Now that I have clarified that, there is one more thing that I think is irritating as well, is that as the anti-casino group shows up consistently to Revere hearings, and yet really seem to attend Plainridge, Springfield, or Everett. If you are anti-casino in Massachusetts, then you should be at all and not just at one. I so hope that the Mass Game Commission has taken notice. They talk about crime, drug abuse, and robberies, and how pawn shops are going to make so much money. I don't know what rock they're living under, but pawn shops have never seen such good revenue in the last 4 or 5 years. People have had to pawn their jewelry and much more just to pay for their mortgage or put food on their table. And why? Because there are no jobs. No jobs equal more crime. No jobs means going to a pawn shop. We need the jobs. And lastly, to the Mass Gaming Commission, I just want to say, I commend you for being so poised and calm when people have stood here before you and personally attacked you one by one. They have been condescending, rude, and downright disrespectful. There is no need to be like that. You can make your point without doing so. So I just wanted to applaud you on being so eloquent. In closing, I want to leave you with the following statements, and thank you in advance for your time. This city needs the jobs. This city needs the revenue. This city is the right choice. And most of all, this city needs a yes to the license in Mohegan Sun at Suffolk Downs. Thank you.
All right, Frank Sabio and Patricia Reardon will be the next speaker. Good afternoon, Mr. Sabio.
Chairman McHugh, and members of the Massachusetts License Committee. My name is Frank Sabio, and I live at 420 Revere Beach Boulevard. We all know and we all understand what Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs will do for the city of Revere. What I have to say is more of a statement about the men and the women that run these companies, the people that run Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs. Being self-employed for many, many years, I've met lots of people that are so self-absorbed and their only concern was to make money. What I've seen is not that these two companies do not feel that way. It is a privilege for me and my family to have some association with Chip Tuttle and Peter Schultz. These are men that have integrity. They have foresight, and they have the best interest of not just the city. They have the interest of the people who live near the casino project. Let me not forget our honorable Mayor Rizzo. Without a doubt, he's the hardest working man in the city of Revere. If it were not for Mayor Rizzo, with his vision for a new Revere, we would not be on the verge of making this city the best in the state. Chairman McHugh and members of the Licensing Committee, I ask you to consider not just the nuts and bolts and what we're going to get, but please ask yourself and consider the human factor. Ask yourself, please ask yourself, do the men and the women that run these companies have character, integrity, and a vision for a better Revere? I think they do, and the committee should award the Eastern license to Mohegan Sun. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Serio. Patricia Reardon and Richard Dolan would be next. Will be next.
Hi,
Ms.
how are
Reardon.
you? I'd like to thank the board and the commission here for going forward and making a decision and not putting it off till after the election so that we can come to a decision soon of who's going to get this casino. I would like to touch on some things that Ms. Riley had said about farms and breeding farms. And one of the reasons there aren't the breeding farms in Massachusetts is because the Massachusetts as a state does not support it or have legislation that will support it. She mentioned New York and Maryland, and I urge that Massachusetts just take their form, scratch out their state, and put in Massachusetts. And I, as a person that has horses, will bring my mares in foal from Florida to Massachusetts. I live in the city of Revere. My backyard will face the corner right there on Furlong Drive. And I want the casino. I enjoy having the casino life there. I do not bet. But when they have that resort there, I'll be the first one to check in. They have a way of life that at Suffolk Downs that needs to be extended. They need to have that money that's coming in from the slots in order to produce better and better races. They need everyone that puts their horse in a gate that comes out, that finishes, gets a check for $1,000 to be split between the owner and the trainer. If that is not done, there'll only be 3 and 4 horses racing in each race, because when it gets down the line, there is nothing for anybody else. So there has to be some sort of way of setting up that the horsemen are taken care of, and this whole way of life is allowed to go on. The farms are essential to Massachusetts. We need them for more than one reason. We see all the GMOs and how it's poisoning our children, how all the corporate farms are taking over and the little farmers are gone. It's been happening since the 80s. We need to get ahead of this, a step ahead of this. Massachusetts needs to be in the forefront, because when they decide that all these allergies and sicknesses and ADD and all the stuff related to food, we need to have our farms up and ready to go to produce food for our people in our state. The commission has done very well, and they've invited everybody that wants to come up to talk. I was at the Boston meeting, I didn't get called. I was at the last meeting, I didn't get called. I got called today. You made enough time for everyone that wants to speak can get up and say what they have on their mind. Revere is the place that the casino should go. They've proven over and over again that they can handle the people. They can handle things like the sand sculpture, 400,000 people, the bike ride for the soldiers. They've proved it over and over again. This is a destination that people want to come to. They always have. I've lived in the North Shore of Boston all my life, and I'm proud to be a Revere resident. I hope you hear what everyone has to say, because we all need jobs, but we don't need to lose 800 of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Reardon. Richard Dolan is next. Is Mr. Dolan here? Vincent Giarusso. Michelle Jeffrey. Wilson Correa. Kevin Buckley. Charles Weber. Gary Ferragamo. Mr. Ferragamo. And Mark D'Ambrosio is next.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Gary Ferragamo, and I would like to speak to you in 3 different manners, if you will. 1 as a Revere native, 2 as a realtor, and 3 as a business owner. As a Revere native, I was born and raised here in Revere and lived in Revere most of my life. I remember growing up in this beautiful beach city of Revere and being proud to say I was from Revere. Back then, Revere was a world-class city. I remember going to the beach as a young boy in the 60s and 70s, and I'd go on all the rides and the roller coasters, and I played in all the arcades. I remember not only meeting new people from different cities and states, but people from all over the world. I remember running home to my mother and father and telling them who I met on the beach that day. One day it was people from Germany, the next day it was people from Sweden. Back in those days, Revere attracted people from all over the world. However, in the past 3 decades, the rides and arcades are gone, the visitors from all over the world are gone, and our much-needed economic growth is at a standstill. The recession in the past few years has really hurt our beautiful world-class city of Revere even further. It seems that there is little hope for the future and to bring Revere back to its world-class status, or so I thought. It's time to stop remembering and bring Revere back to world-class status. As a realtor, I'm the vice president of a real estate company, and we have seen the past 5 or 6 years in real estate, property values have been down, suppressed, and not showing much life. I speak for many real estate professionals when I say we feel the possibility of a resort casino here in Revere can have many significant positive effects on values of the core values of our local real estate community. This resort casino can lead to many positive effects. Defray property taxes for homeowners, defray water and sewer rates for homeowners. We know this will boost activity, spark widespread interest, and lead to future economic growth, as well as so many other positive attributes. From a professional realtor's point of view, the location of Revere, with its close convenience just a few miles away from Boston and Logan International Airport, make it a desirable, easy location for any world traveler to easily visit on a daily basis. I am also a business owner, and I have a beautiful restaurant on Revere Beach. We all know the recession of the past few years has hurt many businesses, specifically, speaking for myself, restaurant business. However, we believe we are finally seeing our business start to pick up again for the first time in years. We believe the possibility of a resort casino located just a mile or so down the road will lead to more customers for us, more business for us, and more income to our restaurant. We believe it can lead to many more visitors, once again from not only different cities and states, but hopefully all over the world. We believe in Revere. We believe that in a democracy, each city should be able to vote for what they want and believe in. We believe we voted twice for this resort casino, and we believe we voted yes twice. We believe in Suffolk Downs, for they have been a wonderful neighbor and a wonderful manager, managing gambling professionally for almost 80 years. We believe in the COO of Suffolk Downs, Chip Tuttle, and his team of many supporters and staff, including Ed Lamoli. We believe in the principal owner of Suffolk Downs, Richard Fields, who is ready to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into the city and our community. We believe in our city councilors who vote yes. We believe in our former state representative, Kathleen Reinstein, who voted yes. We believe in our current state representative, Rosalie Vincent, who voted yes, 3 seconds. We believe in our economic development, John Fester. We believe in our mayor, Dan Rizzo. In closing, it is time we truly believe that this resort casino here in Revere is the right development in the right location at the right time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ferragamo. All right, Mark D'Ambrosio, Angelo Vigliota, Paul Umbrello, Patricia Courtney, Carol Ty, Ms. Ty, and Vincent Ferranzano is next. Ms. Ty.
I've lived in Beachmont, that section of Revere, for almost 3/4 of a century. And for 54 years, I have driven by those red horse barns on my way to this very building. And I remember when it was called the New Revere High School. When I came here to teach, when I came here as a superintendent of schools, and when I came here now as an elected member of the school committee. And for all of those years, I have always regarded Suffolk Downs as a good neighbor and as a good corporate citizen. I usually speak before commissions about school and governmental issues, but I'm here today to testify on behalf of the school department and the city I love, because I believe that Suffolk Downs and Mohegan Sun has an economic development proposal that is essential to the future of Revere. I support the proposal because of the benefits that will accrue to education and to young people. The host community agreement requires payments of $1 million annually to the Revere Public Schools, a $2 million payment toward rehabilitation of the stadium, and a $1 million payment toward building a new youth center. And the mayor has pledged to all city revenues to build a new Revere High School. We couldn't even get a science lab here because they said this building was too old. But that's his pledge, and there's no other way we're going to get that pledge. I'm a money manager for elderly citizens from Chelsea Revere Winthrop Elder Services. They can't afford to pay the taxes for a school that our kids need and deserve. And sadly, we've lost so many homes to foreclosure. You can't keep a house if you don't have a job. And too many of the kids who lived in those houses and who went to our schools are now homeless. We need money, we need jobs. Jobs give not only financial security, but emotional security to children so they'll thrive in an academic and social environment. We can't lose these jobs in the business that horse racing brings in our community, to our community now. And we all know that that sport cannot survive without a casino development. So why is Revere a better site? Well, because Suffolk Downs has a history as a good neighbor. When I was a child, horsemen lived in rental quarters in Beachmont. Our brothers walked horses every morning. We were called to church on Sunday by a carillon that had been donated to Our Lady of Lords Church in memory of a deceased jockey. Our lives were intertwined with Suffolk Downs in an easy mutuality. Throughout the years, Suffolk Downs has supported so many nonprofits, some from Revere and some from surrounding communities. They've given to Castles, a Revere High School alumni group, to CPAC, which is organizing to help children with autism. We're a city with a great history in the entertainment business. There were lots of jobs at the track for ambitious, hardworking people willing to forego days in the sun for a better future. I had a job on Revere Beach. I graduated from making cotton candy to being a hat check girl in Ocean View Ballroom, and I paid my college tuition with the money that I earned from those jobs. All work is honorable, no matter what, if it's done in an honorable way. Mohegan Sun has already worked with us at Revere Cares so that we can address any issues that arise in the community. Bunker Hill will give education to our kids, not only for a job there, but for a career there. The city and the community have demonstrated firm support for Suffolk Downs and Mohegan Sun. We also believe that we have the best site, a beautiful 3-mile beach. Stop at the Sandcastle Festival on your way home. The centerpiece is up already. We have a population of eager, educated workers, and in spite of our physical needs in the Revere Public Schools, we are academically the best urban district in the nation. Please, thank you for coming. Award the license to Suffolk Downs and Mohegan Sun.
All right, thank you, Ms. Tai. Mr. Farazano? No.
Umbrella.
Your name is what, sir?
She skipped me. I wasn't going to tackle her and go ahead of her, so I let her go.
Your name? And your name?
Paul Umbrello. I was.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Do you want
Go
to call
ahead.
somebody
Yes.
else?
No, go ahead. No,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Thank you, members of the board. I'm Paul Umbrello, owner and managing partner of Charles River Racing Stables. I offer racehorse partnerships and have hundreds of partners that contribute to the racing industry and the economy. I'm here today to support a yes vote for a casino in Revere and support Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs. My comments today are my own and not solicited by Mohegan Sun or Suffolk Downs. I know as members of the board you have a tough decision to make in awarding Revere or Everett the casino license. How we got here is no longer the issue. Going forward, the only decision is to whether award the gaming license to Mohegan or win. The fact is that a casino at either site will create thousands of jobs, but there are some facts that support Revere over Everett in my opinion. The first and foremost is that a casino in Revere retains over 800 existing jobs and the potential to add and even create more to the racing industry. Mohegan has committed to millions of dollars in road improvements as we know and have heard. They are working with area businesses to help promote and generate revenue outside of the casino and not take away of it. I haven't heard or seen anything comparable that Wynn will do for the horse racing industry or the millions of dollars contributed to host communities, road improvements, or what he is doing to support area businesses. Without the marriage of Revere Casino and Suffolk Downs, I can't see the track continuing to operate. Folks will lose their jobs in an economy where we need more jobs. Some will have to relocate their families to race elsewhere, sell their farms. How do you start over when you've lost the only job you know? I'll be out of business. Those opposed can't deny the fact that we need jobs today and need to retain existing jobs. So why not a casino and the preservation of the racing industry and jobs over the other alternatives? Before I close, I also want to make a comment, as I say I have a couple of minutes, about the comment I heard about the mass breeding program and the horses at the tracks. The mass breeding program, in my opinion, will thrive, excel with a casino in Revere. The revenue, obviously, from the casino will go towards the purse structures. You don't have breeders breeding today because it's very costly to take a horse, breed it, and get it to the track. The tracks, the horses at the track. Yes, we don't have as many horses. Why? Because I can race in New York for more money than it will at Suffolk. When you increase the purses and I'm going to race for 20,000 instead of 10, I'll bring more horses in. I'll bring more quality horses in. You'll bring more people to the track. Why does Florida survive? Because they have a casino in Gulfstream. Why does Pennsylvania survive? Because they have a casino at their racetracks. Pennsylvania offers 40% bonuses for their PA-bred horses. I expect and hope we'd see the same in Massachusetts. New York also. Those tracks all survive because casinos reside in those states. In closing, I support and urge you to do the same and award Mohegan Sun and Revere a gaming license. I thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Umbrello. So now Vincent Ferrazzano, Richard Sheehan, Dr. Richard Sheehan, Joanna Renzi, Ms. Renzi, and David LaMalfa will be next. Ms. Renzi.
Good afternoon, members of the Commission.
Good afternoon.
My name is Johanna Renzi. I am a Revere resident and a supporter of establishing Mohegan Sun and Revere. One of my concerns in considering my support was the impact Mohegan Sun Mass would have on local businesses, and would it help drive local spending? And we all know that any program that drives local spending in the local economy is a plus. After attending meetings and deciphering information, it did not take me long to put my concerns to rest and realize that Mohegan Sun would be a tremendous help to local businesses. Just one of the ways they will do this, and to which I will speak, is through their Momentum Partnership Program, which you have already heard about. Mohegan Sun already maintains a reward program for their patrons at their 3 other locations, with over 5 million members, many of them concentrated here in eastern Massachusetts. Points are awarded to its members to use as cash throughout the casino. And the gaming industry standard is for points to be redeemed only within the casino property. So why is Mohegan Sun Mass different? And how will this program help our local area businesses? It is because it is establishing a first-of-its-kind community benefit, the Momentum Partnership Program. It's important to note the word partnership because it allows patrons to use their Momentum points outside Mohegan Sun at local retail, restaurant, other commercial entities in Revere and throughout Greater Boston. To date, nearly 400 businesses in Greater Boston have already signed up to participate. So Mohegan Sun anticipates that patrons who are Momentum members will earn up to $50 million annually, and they're free to use these points as currency and request to have their cash payments directed to participating businesses. Just imagine what impact this will have. It is a model program. We know that many areas, small businesses have been adversely affected by the state of the economy over the past years. I have spoken with some of these local, everyday, hardworking business owners, and they could surely use a boost. The financial impact of this partnership program could be huge for them. More businesses means a better quality of life for them and their families. So please consider just how this one program alone will benefit businesses by increasing the revenues, and bottom line, how it will contribute to the development of the region. This unprecedented commitment by Mohegan Sun Mass is in addition to their commitment to spend a minimum of $50 million annually in goods and services within 15 miles of the casino. This will ensure purchases that are made directly by Mohegan Sun will flow to area vendors. In closing, Mohegan Sun has proven that it is committed to building long-term relationships and integrating itself into the community. It does have a powerful vision, and I hope your vision will be to award a Region A license to Mohegan Sun, Massachusetts. Thank you very much for your time and for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Renzi. David Lamalfa, Michael Hinojosa, I'm sorry.
There's someone coming.
Mr. Hinojosa.
Good afternoon, members of the Gaming Commission. My name is Michael Hinojosa, and I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. I stood in front of you a few months ago, spoke about the importance of a casino and how our host community agreement favorably impacts my department, the citizens of Revere, especially the kids. The $1 million set aside for a rec center is just the beginning of the transformation of quality of life for this great city. But I'm here on a personal note. I'm here to tell you the importance of Suffolk Downs to my family. My father, Herbert Hinojosa, was a jockey. He won over 3,300 races in his career, many of those at Suffolk Downs, including the 1963 Massachusetts Handicap. I can't begin to tell you how many times I snuck out of the house with my father at 5 in the morning to watch him work out horses. I walked around the place like a prince, with everyone calling me Little Herbie. I wanted nothing more to be a jockey. And, that was me. Unfortunately, those hopes were dashed when I outweighed my father by the time I was 12. Huh? Yeah. But when I was a kid, I would be on the corner of my couch, grabbing one of my father's whips and, pretending like I was coming down the stretch. Let's just say my mother wasn't too happy about me pounding the side of my couch with one of my father's whips. So on the chase it was, but that brings me to my mother Maria, who also worked at Suffolk Downs until for about 15 years. She was a teller there. I tell you all this because Suffolk Downs has been a fabric of our community for many years, putting food on many tables, including mine. Suffolk Downs has been an integral part of the Revere community, socially and economically. It is difficult to imagine life in this city without it. Suffolk Downs is not just part of Revere's identity, it's part of its being. Choose Mohegan Sun so the horse racing community can continue to strive and the city of Revere can continue its transformation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next on my list is Joseph Cuoco. Yeah. And after that will be Severio DeChico.
Hello. It's pleasant to be in front of you today. I'm sure you must remember the name. I've sent you a couple of letters. I just want to say that Revere has to be a no-brainer for this. And you guys have to listen to what I got to say because I got it on DVR. I mean, you take Mohegan Sun on one side and you take Wynn on the other side. Mohegan Sun, you got their utmost attention. Wynn is sleeping. I got him 3 times right in front of you guys, sleeping, actually sleeping while you're talking to him. Now, if you don't believe me, I got it on DVR. Why should Revere be picked? Because we're the best city in the state. That's number one. Because we got the best transportation. We got the first public beach, which I've heard before, but anybody that comes to the casino or comes to Revere can visit the beach in their spare time instead of hanging around the hotel. Also, we're preserving the racetrack, which is the most important thing, I think, for you guys, is you're preserving jobs. Not only the 800, but the people that deliver the hay to them, all the other people, the horse farmers, and not only that, what they didn't mention is that with the casino coming in, you're going to bring quality top racehorses here, which you're going to bring a lot of racemen in here that you've never seen before. So the track will be crowded. Minutes from the airport, which you've heard, walking distance from the train station, less than a mile from one of the biggest bus routes. You got the beach, like I said, not the Mystic River, which is polluted. It's going to be good for so many businesses, not only in the area, but in Boston and the surrounding communities. People that come here will not only put money into the casino, but will undoubtedly put it into the businesses. Let's see. I'm trying to see and I'm trying to get something that nobody else said, but anyway. One other thing I want to say. I also want to apologize for them. I don't want to say it to you, that were here and said what they said about you people. And not only them, but what they said about Dan. I've known Dan for years. He's the best mayor I could ever want in this city, okay? And anything he supports, I will be right there beside him. And I've been on this thing since day one with him. And I will continue standing beside Mayor. Really, you guys got to think about this. There's no other city. Revere has to be it. Look at, come in like my friend and I did, coming from the Dominican, and look at both sites from an aerial view. It looks like a slum area, one, and the other looks like a resort area. I don't know how you could even vote for Everett. You got an ignorant guy that wants to sleep while you're talking to him.
Now let's keep
no,
it.
Listen,
we're better than that.
You're
now.
talking about well, yeah, but you're talking. He is though.
Yeah, but
you're talking about $1 billion.
Yeah, let's talk about the merits.
Okay.
Let's talk about the merits.
Revere's the place to go.
Thank you. All right. Next on my list is Severio DeChico, Jim DePaulo, Janine Bedouin.
Somebody's coming.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm a resident of Revere. I've lived in Revere all my life. I'm a homeowner. I live on the Revere Beach Parkway, which is otherwise known as Route 16. I voted for the casino twice. I think it would be great for our city. However, there's one thing that does disturb me, and that is, I think it was March of this year, the commission approved Everett to be a surrounding community to the Mohegan Sun project in Revere. But to date, they haven't allowed Revere to be a surrounding community to the Everett project. So if Everett gets the license, Revere gets nothing. the residents in Revere who live along Route 16 will get no traffic mitigation. But the commission has already ruled the other way, which I don't think is very fair. I think once the commission ruled that Everett was a surrounding community to Revere, they should automatically say Revere should also be. If my memory serves me correctly, I think it was Commissioner Sunga who went on the record to say that because of the increased traffic on Route 16 for the residents of Everett, he allowed Everett to be a surrounding community, forcing Mohegan Sun to mitigate traffic with Mohegan Sun and for the residents of Everett. So my point is, if you're going to allow one community to be a surrounding community, the other one should also be. I don't know if the mayor has to request it, or if you people can just designate it by the simple fact that you've already designated Everett as a surrounding community to the Mohegan project. And if my figures are right, I think it was $500 million a year to the city of Everett as mitigation if the project goes into Revere. But if by chance the unthinkable happens and you give the license to Everett, Revere gets nothing. Not only do we don't even get traffic mitigation, the people who live around Route 16, Route 1 empties out onto Route 16. A lot of my neighbors are going to have to deal with all that traffic. And right now on the table, there's nothing to make any improvements if the project does go to Everett. So, my point for speaking tonight was to thank you people for being so patient, allowing us to speak. I am for the casino in Revere, but if by chance the license goes to Everett, I think it's only fair that Revere should get something out of it, just as you gave the Everett residents mitigation for the project in Revere. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next on my list is Michael Lawyetz, Wheezy Waldstein, Zakia
Here's Wheezy.
Alake.
There's somebody coming.
Whoop. All right.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Wheezy Waldstein. I'm here today representing a coalition of community groups, and particularly I want to say that I'm hearing what people are saying about the jobs. Our concern is the quality of the jobs, regardless of which applicant gets the final license. We want to thank you. We want to thank Mohegan Sun. Last week we opened a conversation, and we're hoping to continue it with Peter Schultz. I hope it was productive. We are here tonight to say that our best information is that between 800 and 1,200 of the jobs, no matter which casino is awarded the license, will not be unionized. And we're concerned about the standards of those jobs. What we know is that half the fast food workers in the country get food stamps. We know that there's a possibility, at least, that without a living wage standard for all the jobs, especially the ones we're concerned about here, the ones that aren't going to have a union, that we could end up by accident almost with jobs that don't pay a living wage, don't have benefits, aren't the kind of jobs that everyone here is talking about. We've given you testimony, as we have shared with Mohegan Sun, and for full disclosure, we're also in the same conversation with folks from the Wynn Casino. We're asking that the casinos set a standard for the jobs of their partner restaurants, partner retail, and contracted out workers. And I particularly wanted to come here tonight to recognize Revere, which is a really special town. It had one of the very first living wage standards for its own contracts of any city in the country. And it just is a real sign that these kind of approaches can be done, and that we're really interested in the continuing dialogue with Mohegan Sun, obviously with Wynn as well, but particularly with Mohegan Sun here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Zakia Alake, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Michael Nicastro. Joseph Spaziano, and Joanne Bonavicchia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Over on the left.
My name is Joanne Benora. I'm a former 20-year resident of Revere Beach, currently residing in Peabody. My mother was born in Revere, and her parents and extended family lived in Revere, and some of them still do. They were employees, some of them, of the two original tracks in Revere, Wonderland and Suffolk Downs. I came here to voice my opinion, as I did about 3 years ago at the state when people were gathering to talk about casinos. I stood before you then and I reminded you that the commission could not legislate morality when the issues of prostitution and drugs and crime came up. I reminded you also that the commission could see to it that any casino coming into any community in Massachusetts could enforce partnerships and vendor contracts and host community resolutions and ordinances to ensure safety protections for people who are addicted. You did all that. Revere is the place. I came from Revere when I spoke before you. Revere was the first city to come out and work, solicit and work, and put together a package that they felt the commission would accept. Now is the time. Give them the reward for the work that they did. You did the job. You brought in the people. You stood up against all of the malicious comments made against you. Now it's time for the two of you, the commission who did the job the best, and the city who did the job the best. Bring gaming, ethical gaming, to Massachusetts. I visited Foxwoods. They have a 6th-floor historical museum on the native tribe that they come from. They bring riches to the mind as well as to the pockets. We need that kind of thing for communities. Mohegan Sun, I saw Pavarotti perform live. Everyone who goes to casinos are not addictive gamblers who bring down neighborhoods and force more policemen. The average person who goes there are decent people. Let's let the people in Massachusetts spend their money in Massachusetts so they can get it back in tax revenue. Now is the time for Revere.
All right, next on my list is Deborah Davis. Is Ms. Davis here? And Christopher Graham. All right, first, Ms. Davis.
Good evening. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone. And I'm here in support of Mohegan Sun. I truly believe that the people who oppose Mohegan Sun, along with the supporters, can work together to make this a positive effort. We need the opposition to keep checks and balances. So the promises that Mohegan Sun make, the opposers will ensure that they keep their promise. So we need to work together as a team. I'm also, a resident of Massachusetts. I grew up here. And I know that this city and this state is very strong. And whatever we allow as citizens to come here, we're going to ensure that they deliver what they promise and not scare us away. Perfect example is the Boston Marathon. There was a tragedy that took place. Lives were lost. Lives will forever change. However, Boston, Massachusetts did not cease having the marathon. What they did was that they increased security and they increased the safety for all who wants to participate. And I see the same with Mohegan Sun. Yes, it will bring some negative whenever you increase number of people, whether you also increase risk. But it also brings the funding to provide security to ensure that the negative doesn't hurt the positive. So I definitely thumbs up for bringing Mohegan Sun to Massachusetts. In addition to that, Mohegan Sun they're bringing something. If they're not going to be in our city, well then that means that jobs are lost. And if those jobs are lost, how are they going to be replaced? Many of these people, and I can say this because I'm in the same age bracket, they've been at these jobs for over 20 years. They're looking close to retirement. Where are they going to go when those jobs are lost? Who's going to hire a 56-year-old person who's been working in one place for over 30 years? Where are you going to find a job to match their salary? How are they going to make their means? How are they going to earn their living and be able to support themselves? Mohegan Sun is bringing something to the table. Then in addition to some of the concerns, an example of them listening to the concerns from Winthrop in regards to traffic and the hospital. And I just read in the paper the article where the Mayor, Marty Walsh, has put together something where they will also benefit from the funds that's coming to Massachusetts. Winthrop, Chelsea, Everett, all of the surrounding towns that had legitimate concerns are now also benefactors. So that tells me that Mohegan Sun is listening to the issues that these residents of these towns are having. So once again, I believe Mohegan Sun is a positive addition to our state, and they bring nothing but positive benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Mr. Graham.
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Christopher Graham, and thank you for having us here today. I too support the casino coming to Massachusetts. I could tell you a little bit about myself. I am in a wonderful position where, I got a chance to come to this country. I'm from Jamaica. I'm loving the weather today, by the way. I'm from Jamaica, and I got to experience a lot of different things in my life. I got to go to the military, college, and now I'm a business owner. And these are things that we strive for coming from, our native country. And now we're in a position where we can see history be made again, where a casino would come into this town and it'll give my business and the surrounding business from where I'm from an opportunity to not only grow, but to be part of something wonderful, create new jobs. We sit in a hub zone where I'm from, in Dorchester, Massachusetts. A lot of people struggle every day to pay bills, to, put food on their table, or anything like that. To see a casino come into this community, into Massachusetts, it gives them a hope and opportunities to go out, get jobs, go out, start new business, build on the business they have. There are vets like myself who come back into Massachusetts and to Boston, and there's no jobs for us. This is an opportunity not only in the casino, but on the outskirts of companies like myself or, smaller companies. Kids coming from college. My son is heading into college this fall. He's heading to Purdue University, and how wonderful would it be for him to come back and there's jobs here for him, not staying in Pennsylvania or going to Florida or wherever, but coming back home where there are jobs here for him and to continue his life. I see nothing but a wonderful opportunity for us. Again, like Deborah said, there will be, there's always negative or positive, but it's our job as residents of Massachusetts to fix that. We've been in tight situations before. I could tell from the military, we've had some serious situation And it was us to come together as a group and fix that situation that we could come back home. And I see this being that situation. I think I echo what that lady just said. I missed her name when she said, now is the time. And I'd like to be part of that history, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to be part of that history too, even those who are opposing it. So thank you very much, and I am in support for the Mohegan Sun.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. All right, now that completes my list. The lists were posted outside, and if anybody saw their name on the list, but I did not call, we'd be happy to hear you now. You, sir, and you are Mr.?
My name is Nick Malason. I was called earlier. I showed up late.
All right, that's all right. Your name is on the list, so go ahead.
I'm here. I was living in Revere now, born and brought up in East Boston, and I'm here in support of the casino for many reasons. I've been actively involved in youth sports in the city of East Boston for years, past president of Little League and Pop Warner, and this proposal that we get doesn't just help the city of Revere, it helps all the surrounding communities, and it helps millions of dollars, jobs for everybody. Be able to like I've said this to Dan many times, I run T-ball now currently in East Boston. It costs me, say, $20,000 a year to run the program. It'd be nice to have someone to say, I need $20,000 to run my program this year and not be able to charge, not have to charge the parents for their children to play. This is like someone said earlier, it's a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for Revere. The comparison of the host community agreements between the two choices are, throw one away and just look at the one that's the right one, which is Revere. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. All right, now that does complete the list, and on behalf of myself and my colleagues, I want to thank all of you for not only the thoughts you've expressed tonight, but the thoughts you've expressed throughout this process. We take all of this very seriously. It's a very important part of our decision-making process. We will be back here one more time to close, for the final segment of this statutory hearing. We will post the date soon, and so you have advanced notice of it. We will at that time be focused primarily, if not exclusively, on comments about the surrounding events that have taken place since we had the first hearing, the surrounding community hearing, any other things that have taken place since the hearing, so that we can be brought up to date as to your current thinking about all events, and we want to focus on that the next time. But until the next time, thank you again, as I say, on behalf of all of us, and have a good evening.